Ride and Listen, episode 18, the final episode of this All American series. Now, for those of you who are just joining us on this final episode, just know that these are the audio messages I recorded on my senior season, my All American season, my final season of baseball I played in college, where, I dedicated one last year to everything baseball, school related. I said I'd do it one more time, so I poured everything into doing it one more time at the highest level with no distractions that I could. And it brought forth the All-American season. But noted that's not what I was chasing through most of the season. And like I say in most of these messages, I wasn't really chasing anything at all other than being the best version of myself on a daily basis, trying to get better on a daily basis, 1% Kaizen. Every day is a day to improve, even if it's only by 1%. Dominating the day. Now, this is the final episode of this series because we're at a point now where these audio messages turned into something else. Yes, I have more. But this was post. They start turning into post-baseball career audio messages where this was the last one that was really pouring into, what it takes to be an All-American. And if you want to know about what all the resources that I used to become an All-American, go to my website at undiscoveredprospects.com. I got 2 ebooks. One ebook's about, the physical, tangible things that you can do that I used, that I did. And the other one about the mental side of the game, because Yogi Berra says the game's 90% mental. And that second ebook, has all the mental game things that I used. The mindset. Because the mindset's controlled on a daily basis, whether you know it or not. Your mindset dictates where you're at in life right now, how you perceive life, because ultimately how you perceive life is how your life, develops, how it plays out. If you think you had a good day, you did. If you think you had a bad day, you did. So, as you listen to this last audio message, just please rewind, listen to all of them in a row again now that they're all out there through this senior season, last season, All-American season. And at the end of this video, I'll drop in a few of my favorite, maybe just one favorite video or highlight I have from my senior season. I don't really like to look back on the past too much, but when I do, I definitely enjoy the best moments. May you all be blessed. May you perceive, may you hear this audio message exactly how you're supposed to, when you're supposed to. May you be blessed in all of your endeavors moving forward in your life, because where you are right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. Thomas Evans, Coach Red, Undiscovered Prospects. Peace.
Yo. Yo. Friday, June 30th, right? 2023. Just got out the gym. You know how that is, man. Like, I said this shit before and I'll say it again. The gym, man, gets the mind flowing. While the muscles be growing, the mind be flowing. So, what's on my mind today, right? It's like the process, right? Have the epiphany about, like, how a good process or how a process can create more success for you in baseball specifically. Now, the process for you, that has to be repeatable, whatever that is. For me, what that looked like, at practice specifically, I would show up, I would do the team dynamic, sure, but I did the same stretches. I did mobility with the band for my shoulder. I stretched my ankle. some deep lunges to like feel how my hammies are feeling. Do the team dynamic. If we're hitting every single day, I'd warm up dry swing, bottom hand, top hand, connected. I would slowly ramp up. Start on the tee, go top hand, bottom hand, choked up two hand. Then I'll take like 25% swing, just feeling my hands out. Then I take 10 loads, no swing. Then I take my first 100% swing. And then I'd be done with the tee, and maybe when I come back, I work outside, inside. But that's what I would do every day to warm up. So that was just one process that I had, but that process right there could tell me how my body's feeling, where my swing was at, because I had set it up because I wanted to, it was like a test. I'll test my top hand, make sure that's on point, my bottom hand, make sure that's on point. I would load 10 times without swinging. I'm trying to see how that's feeling, if I'm tight still. I take, 25% swings because I'm trying to stay connected, work that connection, slowly build up, and feel my way to 100%. Then take that 100% swing and be connected. You know what I'm saying? So that was my process. But the thing about that process is, it's not, I didn't tell you that so you take my process and try it, but you build your own process like that for, say, practice, like I just explained. And then you're able to apply that process day in, day out, day in and day out. And you can tell where you're at, what you kind of need to tweak for the day, because every day is different, and every day your swing feels different. Every day your mind is a little different. It's thinking a little different. It's a little sharper today, a little not so sharp today. Tired, versus like full energy, you know what I'm saying? So you set up the process because it keeps you on track. Now, what's the alternative to this? The alternative to having a process is having no process, which a lot of people do, and I did for most of my life. And same example before practice, before you're about to hit. What's the same example of no process? Well, you show up, and you're kind of like just conversating today, taking your time, not really getting loose before team dynamic like you'd like to. Team dynamic starts, now you're not like fully like where you want to be after team dynamic, so you got to spend a little more time to stretch what you should have done before the team dynamic. And now you're getting into like warm up before you take BP or hit off the machine or whatever. All the bats are getting loose. You guys are doing dry swings, whatnot, and you're still kind of chatting with the one dude you were talking to before you were stretching. And now you're not really paying attention to your swings. You're kind of just swinging the bat. You're not really feeling anything. You're kind of just like, yeah, like I'm swinging, whatever. I'm getting loose. And you go hit off the tee, and you're like, take like 4 swings. You're like, yeah, I just hit 4 up the middle. I'm good. But you don't really understand why you hit them up the middle or how you're feeling today. And then you go hit BP, and you kind of have like a okay day, hitting BP off the machine, off the arm, whatever. And you're like, yeah, like whatever, it's a cool day. That is like low intent, no plan, aimlessly playing the game, right? Aimlessly playing the game. Now, why would you do that? If you're in college, if you're in high school trying to get to a college, if you're in the college and you're trying to extend your career to graduate school, if you're trying to extend your career to like, indie ball, drafted, whatever, why would you play aimlessly like that? If you're taking the game seriously, why would you play aimlessly like that? Why would you play with no direction? Show up every day with the intent, the process, and then the process doesn't deviate. You do the process, whatever your process is, you stick to it every day because that becomes measurable over time. And what I mean by that, when you have the same process, and it's not like you can just take my process and apply it to you, and it's not like you are going to wake up tomorrow and find what your process is, but the process is constantly being fine-tuned, right? So now that we're under that belief, The process over time is measurable, right? It's measurable because you can be like, this week overall, I felt pretty good on top hand, bottom hand, staying connected, because that's what I did every single day, and I could tell a difference. Or you can be like, the next week, yeah, I couldn't get my lower half. My lower half was just kind of tight all week. I hit legs really hard on Monday, and then I was just kind of struggling to get my lower half involved. Boom. And the reason I can say that is because, like I said, my process had something in there where I could tell if my legs were loose and dynamic and warming up before the dynamic. And I had something in there where I would test my low dry swings and try to see where I'm at. And that made it measurable. The fact that I did it every day made it measurable. The process is only measurable, one, when you have one, and two, when it's repeatable. Exactly repeatable. Because then you can test yourself, place yourself where you need to be mentally to fix what the issues that you're working on that day, or the practice that you're going to have that day. And that's the difference between having a plan with intent, playing consciously, constantly improving, or B, which majority of people take, and that is playing with no intent or a lack of intent, with no plan, just aimlessly playing the game, thus not producing results you desire, but you don't even have a blueprint or a plan to get those results consistently. When you have the plan and you're playing consciously and you're playing with high intent, your process is constantly being fine-tuned. You have a blueprint, a plan to achieve a level of results predicated on the level and intent of your plan. You get what I'm saying here? So if you have a good plan and you stick to it on a consistent basis and you don't falter, over time that's going to produce the results because it gives you a blueprint or a plan to follow to produce the results that you desire. Then again, no plan, no intent, aimlessly playing the game. You want results. You want to get across the bridge with no bridge. You got no plan, no blueprint to obtain the results that you desire. So you're just aimlessly playing the game. You could go in any direction. You could have a wickedly awful day, or an insane 3-for-3 day with 4 doubles. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even make sense, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just making a point. So that's what it is. It's that intent. The process is the plan. And you implement that for yourself. It looks different from me to you and you to the next guy. But you create your blueprint, and that gives you the roadmap to create the results that you desire. I could talk about this all day, but I just got back to the cribbies, and I got to go to work. You know what I'm saying? I got to get to it. So, peace.
Inaugural year of American League. Don't you know what it was? Get going! Get going! Yeah!